Hello, welcome back to Family Art Project's Depth and Distance series. Today, Ryan and I are going to be creating art while asking the question, what time is it on the clock of the world? By making sundials. So this question was first asked by activist Grace Lee Boggs. Grace Lee Boggs was an activist from Detroit who believed that real change was made by making deep connection and being in deep and meaning reflection and conversation with people. So today, in that spirit, we're going to look to her wise words as inspiration for making art while thinking about connection to others. But first, we recognize that that's a big question. What time is it on the clock of the world? So to answer, we're first going to name what time it is in our bodies, on our own bodies. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes, and I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. So you're going to breathe in and breathe out. And as you take your next few breaths, I'm going to invite you wherever you are to feel the sun and to name where it is that you feel the sun on your body. So maybe that sun is peeking through the window and you feel it on the side of your face. Maybe you're under a whole window, maybe you're outside and you feel it all over your body. Maybe you don't feel the sun right now, but you can remember the feeling. Maybe you're on a beach somewhere. Maybe you're in the car and that sun is just filtering through the window. So now you're going to go to your tummy. You're going to put all your attention to where your tummy is. If your tummy were to tell you what time of day it was, what time does it feel like? Does it feel like a foggy morning? Or does it feel like a hot summer afternoon? It doesn't matter what time of day it actually is or what the weather is. Ask your tummy what time of day it feels like. Now you're going to go to your heart and you can take another deep breath in. What time does your heart say it is? Is it a brisk, cold night? Is it the time of night where the first stars appear? What time does your heart tell you it is? Just for you. Now, as you take another breath, go to your head. What time does it feel like in your head? Are there many colors in the sky, from sunrise to sunset? So when you're ready, when you've asked different parts of your body what time it is, and it's okay if it's all different times, it's okay if it's all the same time. When you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. So the idea here today is that there are times on the clock, like 10 a.m. in the morning, or 1 p.m. in the afternoon, or 6 p.m. for supper time. But you can also look at how time passes for us so that we are more aware of the time that we're in that feels right for us. So today, Ryan and I are making 2 different sundials. Sundials are devices that tell you the time based on where the sun is in the sky. So the sun will cast a shadow, and where the shadow is cast will tell you a time. And we're going to play with that a little bit differently. Instead of looking at an hour, we're going to think of different times it could be for us, for what time it is on the clock of the world. So Ryan will be telling time based on how he wants to connect with others, with loved ones, and with his community. And I'll be telling time based on how I want to move in the world, how I want to be in the world. He'll be doing a little more engineering, so he's going to use found materials to create the kind of sundial that you can put by your window and will require more construction so you can build. And I'll be making a sundial that is using all natural materials, so kind of like a land art. You can make a sundial on the land and keep it outside in your garden or in a nature space you go to and you can visit. So let's begin.
So here you see my sundial. What you see is a sunflower at the center with a cattail standing upright on the sunflower. The cattail is the gnomon of the sundial, which the gnomon is what casts the shadow. I did this on a cloudy day, so we can't see the shadow, but if we were in the sun will move through the sky and cast a shadow on the different pieces of the circle. For my sundial, I chose natural materials that hold special meaning for me to get the answer of what time it is on the clock of the world based on what these parts of nature teach me. So the first step is to collect these natural materials. Usually, I like to find fallen materials. If you pick any flowers, remember to ask for permission and listen to nature's answer. You can also read Robin Wall Kimmerer's Honorable Harvest, which I linked below to get an idea of how to listen to what nature has to tell you. The center of my sundial, which is called the flat plate or the dial on a sundial device, is a sunflower. A sunflower, before it flowers, will grow by tracking the sun. So what I mean by that is if you were to watch a sunflower grow before it flowers, before the actual, the yellow flower that you know as the sunflower blooms from the plant, you would see that the sunflower grows by the stem moving towards the direction of the sun. That is why the sunflower is the center of my sundial. Because as I think about what time it is on the clock of the world, I want to grow towards what gives me life. What will you place at the center of your sundial? What gives you life and nutrients? The first time on the sundial is told through seaweed. This kind of seaweed holds fast onto rock and can survive in great depths of the sea. When the sun casts its shadow from the gnomon onto the seaweed, I know for me it's time to get grounded, sturdy like a seaweed holding fast onto a rock. I remember how seaweed can reach great depths in the sea. What will you put on your sundial that reminds you it is time to look into your great depths, to remind you that you can take time for yourself to stay grounded? The next time is sea glass. Shaped by the tides, I am reminded to be like sea glass, allowing myself to be changed by what is going on around me. How will I let change soften my sharp edges? The times we are finding ourselves in now can be overwhelming. Many of us are being reminded that we need to make serious changes so that we make it so racism and injustice, hurt experienced in the world, are not the things that shape our world. What will you place in your sundial that reminds you to use your gifts so that even in hard times, you are open to change, open to growing? What on your sundial will you ask to remember ways you might have hurt others so that you can repair that harm or the hurt you've caused others? The next time is a little bouquet of flowers made of burdock, chamomile, and clover. And these are all really sweet wildflowers that grow everywhere and abundantly. Sometimes some of them are called weeds, but basically they grow abundantly, which means there's a lot of them, an extreme amount. So when the sun casts a shadow on a wildflower, I'm reminded I can use my wild imagination and grow with my community of other wildflowers to spread big ideas in big numbers. What will you use to remember that you have a wild imagination you can use? The next time is yarrow time. Yarrow is a beautiful flower that is drought resistant. How will you grow to make sure you get what you need to thrive? The next time is root time. So when I look at this plant that I found pulled up from a trail, I immediately see the roots. And I am reminded that the part that the roots do for the plant is to keep the plant sturdy. When I see the roots of a plant, I want to ask myself, what for me is buried down in the soil, in my own very own soil, that I need to pay attention to? What's deep down inside of me that I need to pay attention to? Are my roots getting what they need so that I am growing in ways that make space for other plants? What will you add to your sundial that tells you it is time to pay attention to the things about you that affect how you are with your friends, family, community? The next time is cattail time. And cattails grow by rivers or swamps. They love moist ponds. They can grow many places, but they love water. And cattails disperse by the wind or by floating in the water. And disperse means that their seeds find a new place to grow. And so on my sundial, I use a cattail to think about, where do I need to move to next? Where's the next direction? What is the next step? The next time is sweet gum. Sweet gum is a seed pod with sticky spikes. And sometimes these sticky spikes teach me about boundaries. But today, for my sundial, I am looking at how sweet gum uses the spikes to stick to animals so that they can travel and disperse. When the sun casts a shadow on the sweet gum, I'll know it is time to move forward and grow by paying attention to how others around me are moving. What in your sundial will remind you to listen and learn from others, to be open so that you grow?
For this art making activity, I'm going to make a sundial using dried leaves I've collected from my plants and a few plastic caps. To begin this project, I first want to think back to the quote we were introduced to earlier. That quote by Grace Lee Boggs, which is, "What time is it on the clock of the world?" For me, the time is to set intentions for how we can help, assist, and support others. We may all be familiar with the idea of random acts of kindness, but instead of them being random, how about we call them intentional acts of kindness? So I'm going to create myself 2 categories for who I will make my list of intentional actions for. These categories are family and friends, and by extension, community. For my categories, I'll write on the back of my leaves each of my intentions and make sundials. The first sundial I'm making here is for family. My list of intentions that I'm writing now are: learn how to cook a meal with my family, ask my family, how can I help, thank them on an intentional point in the day, tell them that I love them, and last, as a family, volunteer at a community service organization. Maybe I could initiate a conversation with my family about volunteering, and we look for organizations that align with our values and find ways that we can be of service to this organization and to the community that is. The next sundial I'm making is for friends, and my intentions that I'm going to write here are: offer a gift on a random day, give them a phone call to make sure that they're doing okay, share what I like most about them, have a conversation where I only ask questions with the intent of getting to know them on a deeper level. And last, tell my friend that I believe in their real life dreams. Of these, my favorite is the last one. I think it's important to share with my friends that I support their dreams and support whoever they want to be. Because we don't always sometimes see people who look exactly like us on TV or when we go to places, we may not always see someone who looks like us. It can be hard to believe that those dreams we have are possible. But positive encouragement can go a long way. So it's important to share with your friends that you believe in them. Now that we have all of our intentions written down, we can start assembling our sundial. So I'm grabbing my plastic cap here and placing leaves on the inside where there is holes already set on the plastic cap. Whatever circle-like object you grab, you can just simply tape down the leaves or poke holes in the paper or surface of the circle and stick the stems of those leaves right through it. Now I'm placing my intentions at specific points of my sundial because I want the sundial to move in a circle and for all of my intentions to go around that circle. By doing so, when the light casts its shadow to shift the time, each intention will appear at different times in the day, and that can be when I do or carry out my intentions. I'm also adding extra leaves to my sundial in spaces to give it a really full shape. So here's what we have thus far. And so we'll set those aside and we'll start to put a tall stick in the center to create a sundial effect. I'm just poking a hole in the middle and sticking what I have around me, which is a paintbrush, right in the middle of that plastic cap. And that's it. That's our sundial.
That's going to be the one.